Now let's move to the practical assignment, and let's have first an overview about what you will be required to do in this assignment. So you will have 3 tasks in this assignment. Task 1 will be related to the basics of NGS technologies, and you will be asked in this part to open your browser and navigate into the Illumina web page to find some information that is requested. Task 2 will be related to your understanding of the different NGS file formats, and you will be asked to explain specific features of some of the files formats that have been covered during the course. And in task 3, this will be the manipulation of a Vcf file, and you will be asked to interrogate an annotated Vcf file for specific patterns of fields of interest. So the 2 first tasks have been extensively covered during the course, and these can intuitively be found and answered by your own means. But for task 3, and how to manipulate the Vcf file, I just wanted to give you that test file you will be required to interrogate, and then explain you some of these basic steps in order to be able to interrogate this file. So this file is named testsession1.vcf. You should have loaded it on the directory you choose to work in. So a very important information and remark I would like to make here is that please name your directories and files in a logical way and intuitive way in order to be able to retrieve them easily. So a .sam file is, you know what is in it. A .bam file, you know what is in it because it has that .sam or .bam extension. If you sort it, you would name it .sorted.bam, for example, etc. And we will see how to use the command line to interrogate this file. So first, an important information about the file we will be using is a VCF in its 4.1 version. So I've been telling you that the VCF contains 8 columns. We will see how different the VCF version 4 is. The important thing is that this information can be found in the very first line of the file. You can easily retrieve it. With the information saying file format equals VCF v4.1, which is the version or the VCF specification to which the file conforms. This might seem uninteresting to you at this stage, but it is not that trivial, in fact, because it can have some important consequences on how to handle and interpret the file contents. And in fact, because genomics and NGS is a very fast-moving field, the different formats that are used are evolving fairly rapidly, so some of the encoding conventions can change. If you run a command and you have some unexpected issues with a VCF file that you are trying, for example, to parse, then be sure to check the version and the spec for the relevant format changes that could occur, or the added information that can come with that version. So I told you that there are 8 fields in a classical VCF. Here you have added information in the VCF4, which are different fields. So the first 8 fields contain properties that are observed at the site level. We've seen that. That could be a variant or invariant site. It could be means of different values if you are dealing with different samples. So we've seen all that. Now, another column is the format column, which can contain some information about the genotype. So different versions of the different VCF can have this different information. So genotype is one of the information that can be retrieved in this field. And if you have different samples you are dealing with, then the information that is related to each of these samples will be found in different fields. So the 10th columns and beyond the 10th column, if any, would be related to the sample name columns and the information related to that sample. We'll be seeing that. So How to manipulate this VCF file, this is what we will be seeing together. We will be having a look at this file. So how to view the content of the file, you can do it using more or head, we will be seeing that. We will also see how to look for a specific pattern in this file and count how many of these occurrences are found. So remember that grep is looking for the whole and entire line. We will be seeing an example on how to look for what is called miRNA, for microRNA in the file. And we will be seeing how to select a specific column to retrieve an information, and we will be using cut. The exercise we'll be seeing together is how to select the column that contains the alternative nucleotide, so that deals with the mutation, if any, and we will be seeing the allele frequency information, how to extract that information in a minute. Okay, so let's see how to manipulate this VCF file I gave you. I move to my terminal and I will be going to that specific directory where I have put my file. So I'm putting it under an IBT directory and a genomics directory that is under the IBT, and then I have another directory where I put it, which is Session1. So now I can just control using ls that my file is here. So these are different files that I've generated. Don't worry about that, we will be seeing the utility of these, but they can be generated, they will be generated at later points. So let's first have a look at that file. So I used the more command to view the content of that file. So one important thing is that here in the first line you have the file format specification I've told you about. You have many kind of informations related to the AC, the AF, the AN fields and the explanation of these fields, which are related to allele count, allele frequency, etc. So the thing is that you need to understand that there are many more informations that are contained in here. The thing is that I just reduced it to the one that could be useful for you. So this is just a sample, a very short extract of a VCF file. Let's view a bit more. And here you have many informations related to the config to which each of these information is related. And you have now the different fields that I told you about. And here are your 4 different samples. Okay? So what we would be willing to extract is if the information related to microRNAs, for example. So let's see if this file contains any related mutation related to microRNA. So we will use grep for that. So let's grep miRNA for that file. So I need to specify the file. Okay? So here we have an entry saying that somewhere in here there is an information related to a microRNA. So remember that grep will extract the whole entire lane that contains, or entire line that contains it, this information. Now let's count how many of these lines are in here. So let's pipe it to a WC minus L, and you will see that this is indeed only one line. Okay? Now let's say that I would like to see what are the, to extract only the alternate, so the mutations that are in here. So I would like to extract this field, which is the first, second, third, fourth, fifth field, knowing that the separators are tab in here. Okay? So for this, I will be using cut. So I do not need to specify the -D option, which is that specifies the separator, because by default it would be a tab. So I just have to specify the field. So -F test my file, and then I would like not to display the result in here, but to redirect it to another file, which I will be calling intuitively, as I told you. So the same name, except that I add cut alt to remember what I did in this for this file. So I can then visualize it using more if you wish. So now I have the choice, because I have two files beginning with the same name, and I can see that indeed what I have here is the alternate field. So let's do the same thing. If, let's say, we wish to see what is the AF version, the AF information, sorry. So let's have a look at where this information is. This AF information is in here, for example. So this is the second field if we are basing our separation on this semicolon. Okay? So let's have a look at what we can do to interrogate this. Again, we will be using the cut. Now this time we have to specify the separator, which is that semicolon, and then space the field, which is now the second one for that Vcf file, and then we will be again redirecting into another file that we will call again cut AF to remember what we did. Okay, and you can easily view now this new file. And what has been extracted is here, indeed, the AF column. Okay? So depending on the separator you will be using, you can query these different fields in different ways. Okay? So remember this for the last part of your assignment. You will be needing it. We have different exercises to do using these very, very basic commands. And this at least will show you that if a sequencing platform is giving you this kind of file, you can easily parse it. Remember that the classical way to parse it is really not useful, using, like, for example, opening it on a text and searching one by one using Control F, or using an Excel file to represent your data or to extract some information of it. This is really not useful. But using the command line can bring you a lot of ease in parsing these kind of files. So I hope you've understood how to cope with all this information. I did not go into the details of what each of these fields is in a VCF. You will be seeing that, I think, in the next session. But anyways, I kept some of the information in here, and these are easily retrievable information on the different resources that you can find on internet. So I hope you will enjoy your assignment, and see you in the Vula session.